Okay. Going to get started here in a few minutes. Hope everybody is doing well. Just going to test my audio, make sure everything's working properly here. Nice. All right, I'm going to do a quick countdown while I set up my live streams across my platform. So give it about 1 minute, and I will be right back. Okay. Looks like everything's good to go. I look like I'm streaming across all of my platforms in my Facebook group and on YouTube and on my Facebook page. So, guys, we're going to go ahead and jump into it. So, what I'm going to cover today are the wholesaling markets based off of my marketing, like which ones I think are best. I'm just going to go over, guys, um, what I'm looking for in each of these markets. And really, if we have time to, the top KPIs, key performance indicators that I'm seeing right now for cold calling and texting. I'm just going to be honest. It seems like my cold calling campaigns are not performing as well as my texting campaigns. I think what this has to do with is probably, just going to be honest, it probably has to do a lot with the the 10 DLC laws that went into effect late last year. And so people need to register with 10 DLC in their texting application. And that's requiring people to have an LLC for one. So that's eliminating a lot of new investors. It just fly by night people from texting homeowners. Also, they need to have certain language on their website. I know for me and a few other people, they're when I initially registered for 10 DLC, it got kicked back a few times. So that could be enough to discourage and dissuade certain people from not pursuing that avenue of marketing. Okay. So what I'm seeing is that now that there's a higher barrier to entry to texting, cold calling is becoming crowded. And with cold calling becoming crowded, you have a lot more people getting involved in cold calling and crowding the market. It's the same thing that was happening to texting. So I'm going to be sharing with you guys which markets have not been affected by texting and which are by cold calling, and then those 10 DLC requirements, and then which markets have. So let me go ahead and open up my notes here, and I'm going to jump into it. Hope you guys are having a great day today. And I'm going to dive deep in about 3 markets that I think are really good for wholesaling, guys. I really only share these with my clients I work with, but listen, I don't want to see you guys struggling out here. So I want to help you guys out. Especially if you're starting wholesaling, guys. These are beginner friendly markets. Okay, so what do I have this here? Okay, first of all, guys, what demographic am I targeting in these markets? In every market, I'm targeting people that bought their houses for underneath $100,000 with at least 10 years of ownership. I have some other filters there, but essentially these are distressed senior landlords. Really, if I can, I try to find people that bought their homes before 2003. So if somebody bought their home in 2003, what was that, 20 years ago? Let's just say they were 40. They're going to be 61 now. They're getting closer to retirement age, okay? Somebody bought their home in 2003 and they were 65 or 45. They're over 65. So we get a lot of people, guys, that are in situations. Whenever I market to this list, it doesn't matter what market I market to. About, I would say, a fourth of the list, homeowners have more than one home underneath their name, and atop of that, I would say over half the list, these people are over 60 years old, right? If they aren't, it was an inherited property from somebody who was over that age. I get a lot of out-of-state people, and I get a lot of people that, quite frankly, want underneath 100,000 because they bought their houses for underneath 100,000. And on top of that, too, guys, I'm not targeting areas where the home prices are like 500, 600, 700, because even if you have somebody who bought their house for underneath 100,000, you're going to be in a situation where if the home values have increased a lot since they bought it, let's just say in 2003, guys, you're going to have a situation where these homeowners are going to be expecting the world for their house. They're going to be expecting 200, 300, 400K. And it may make sense to offer them 200K or 300K, but those people are just a lot more difficult to work with. Okay. Exactly. Sniper snipe. Sniper snipe. Okay. So yeah, the screen's a little fuzzy. Let me see what's going on here. Yeah, I see that. I wonder why that is. So you guys just have to bear with me on this. Looks like technology's not working on our end. I'm going to be screen sharing most of the time anyway, guys. So, don't focus on my pretty face. But hey, thanks for letting me know. 362 management group. But yeah, like Reginald said, sniper snipe. That's what we do. And guys, here's another thing. I do not have to pull. Let me make this a little bit larger, guys. I do not have to pull a ton of homeowners to get 2 to 3 properties under contract each month, right? My whole goal since I started my wholesaling journey was to market to as few homeowners to get 1 property under contract. In 2018, this actually stuck with me, or maybe it was 2017. There was a guy that was marketing in Charleston, South Carolina, and he lived in Atlanta, Georgia. And we spoke about like once a quarter, just on, marketing and things about the Charleston market. And he said something to me that stuck with me. He said, "You know what, CC? I'm spending $20,000 in 1 month to get a $40,000 deal with direct mail." And anybody could sit here and say, okay, well, that's a good return on your investment. But I was like, it doesn't have to be like that. I really was thinking to myself, I haven't had to do that to get a deal under contract. And I saw what was happening. It seemed like we were just outspending the next guy in some of these markets. I said this could be a really slippery slope. If I'm not strategic, I could end up getting priced out from other people. Guys, anybody could pull 100,000 homeowners and market to them and get a property under contract. Anybody could do that, guys. So my thing is, if I'm going to be spending 100,000 or targeting 100,000 homeowners, can I do that more smartly? Possibly in spending $2,000 per market instead of doing 100,000 homeowners in one market. It just doesn't make sense to me, Reginald said, lead stacking with age, distress situation, equity is what you want. If the list is 50 and you get one that's better than 2,500 leads for one. Exactly. Only the vets who have went broke with marketing have learned that. I love what you're teaching. Thank you, Reginald. And guys, this is why I'm not for everybody. This is why you won't see I have a huge audience. But this is why people come to me whenever they are working with other people, or they might be doing this on their own for a little bit, and then they are like, whatever I've done has not worked. Let me get the real answers. Guys, I'm not sensational. I'm not flashy with what I do. I may be boring to some people, and that's well and good, but I always want to be offering the exact information that's going to get people deals. You know, guys, you can fearmonger. I could fearmonger on my YouTube channel and blow my YouTube channel up. That's not what I'm trying to do, right? And really, I've been seeing a decrease in the views on my YouTube channel and my subs just because I'm putting out a lot of informational content, and YouTube is doesn't really like that. So I've gone to TikTok. So if you guys are on TikTok, you guys can follow me there. It's just my name, CC Garland. So I'm going to be pushing a lot more on there, and of course I'm still going to be streaming live on YouTube and Facebook as well. Yeah, money isn't boring. It's not. And guys, there was a point in time where if I had somebody like myself presenting this information when I first started, I would have been zoned in and listening to everything that person was saying. But it's almost like everybody is grouping all online content in the same umbrella, and they're trying to look for the same things in an entertaining dance video that they would in a wholesaling video, educational video. They're trying to look for the same things in a wholesaling educational video that they'll look at in a news article. And it's like, it's not sensational, right? I mean, guys, I really respect all you guys joining, everybody who's joining live and who's going to be viewing this after I finish this live stream. You know, I always want to be straight to the point here and not waste people's time and not talking to circles. Without further ado, let me get back to this. So, guys, this is what I'm doing right here. And I want to tell you guys, I have gone through this thought experiment like literally hundreds of hours in my mind, and then just on my spreadsheet as well, where it only makes sense to target 80-20, to apply the 80-20 method in each market I go to. Okay, so I apply the 80-20 method really in everywhere in my life, but especially when it comes to real estate marketing, guys. So what do I mean by that? Guys, 20% of the zip codes in your market will yield 80% of your deals. Now, does this mean you're not going to get a deal in 29440? Oh, wow, it's been so long. I haven't been home to Charleston. 29403, which is one of the most affluent zip codes in Charleston, South Carolina. It's downtown Charleston. Does that mean I'm not going to get a deal there? No, I've gotten a deal there. I wholesaled a deal for $215K, got it under contract for $200K, and then the buyer, he tore down the structure. He basically bought a lot and then built up a new home, and the house he sold was for $700,000. That house is worth, I think now, $1.1 million. Wagner Terrace, Charleston, South Carolina. Yeah, I got a deal there, but are majority of my deals going to come from that affluent area? Guys, no. And so we want to do things smarter, not more difficult. Guys, the gambling culture is huge these days. For some reason, people are really into just a quick fix, and they view their business, they view their whole life like this adrenaline rush. Guys, compartmentalize that stuff, okay? If you want to have an adrenaline rush, do that on your off time, not in your business. I'll show you how to build a boring business, and I'll show you how to build a business with no drama. And then you're going to see that, okay, I basically was running around with a chicken with my head cut off. Now, there is something that you guys should know about this, and that you have to do. And this is what I do. So with the 20% of the zip codes in your market yielding 80% of your deals, you're going to have a finite number of sellers to target in your market, right? And then you'll have to move on. All right, but it's not like you're only targeting a handful of probates or tax delinquents or code violations or inherited properties, right? It's not like your list is going to be that small, right? as heritage list, probates, or pre-foreclosures. You guys get the gist. But you are going to have a finite record of homeowners that you can target. Or else, guys, this is what will happen. You could ideally target more homeowners in, I'm helping a client out right now in Indianapolis. And I'll go in my list pulling tool and show you guys what that looks like here in a second. I think like 50,000 homeowners that came up with our, with this filter here, but owner occupants. But we only had maybe, I think, 20,000 that came up as absentee. As wholesalers, guys, we're targeting absentee homeowners. Target owner occupied. Yes, you can do creative financing. Yes, you can recommend those properties to realtors. But guys, what I'm telling you is that that's not 80% of your deals. So why focus on that other, 80% of zip codes and homeowners when you could just focus on that small subset of homeowners, right? Now, does that mean you're going to be limited to maybe like 3,000 homeowners? No, because you want to have you want to have enough homeowners in one market you could target at least for a month. I prefer being in a market that's large enough you could target for 3 months. And I'm going to give you guys 3 markets here in a second, okay? But what I would say is that why waste your energy and effort on the leads that you're probably just going to throw away for the sake of generating leads? That doesn't make sense for me. So what I'm doing is I'm using this. This is a working title. It's my I think I named it WRM, Wholesaling Rotating Markets Approach, right? It's like a wholesaling market, or rotating markets. I think it's W market rotation. I like WMR a lot better, right? This is something I just coined. I'll see if it sticks, right? I'm not trying to be a thing. I'm dating myself like Mean Girls. I'm not trying to make fetch a thing. So I'm not trying to make thing. But if it sticks, it sticks. And, but wholesaling market rotation is like the method I came up with, where I basically go get all of these homeowners in one market, and then I just do it in another market. that has the same exact specs as the previous market I was in. I'm going to share with you guys what I'm looking for in these markets. So literally, guys, and I would stay in one market for about 3 months, and then I would just pull all that data, text it, skip trace it, text it, cold call it. And then once I'm done, I'm just going to sit that down, and then I'm going to go somewhere else. I used to be able to rotate data, guys, but rotating data doesn't work anymore. You're going to end up rotating that data, and maybe you could do maybe you could pause the list for a month and then cold call and text it again. You're going to get a trickle of leads. It's almost like a whole season needs to pass before you're able to actually go target those homeowners again. Something about the dialer you're using, the text messaging software you're using, and just generally the homeowners being messaged by you, even though they're getting messaged by other people. Something about a whole season passing is what causes the whole market to reset. So you don't want to hit the same homeowners in February that you hit in January, or in March, or in April. You want to hit those same homeowners in January, and then maybe again in March, February, March, April, May, maybe May, June. But really by then, guys, you don't want to bank on that actually yielding you a deal. Look at your marketing like gas. It's disposable and non-renewable. There was a time that it was renewable around 2017, 18, 19. You could hit the same people over and over again, but now it's not, guys. So if you want to guarantee consistent deal flow, and you don't want to be scrambling around like you're crazy, and you're like, oh, what am I going to do for this list? What am I going to do for that list? Guys, you got to be organized with your data. You got to make sure you're not overlapping data when you pull it. And you have to understand that every single list pull is unique and it's disposable. You just want to go through these records and then go somewhere else. The wholesaling market rotation method. That's what I call this. So let's see. All right. So Mara. Okay. So Mara said, the list I got from you is doing great and the sellers are extremely cooperative. Can we purchase contracts through your website? Hey, yeah, Mara, if you message me, I'll just shoot you a contract, my purchase and sale contract. And do you need an assignment contract too? I'll send that over to you. I think I saw your message in the group chat. I was going to get back with you. But if you just email me at info@ccgarlandmarketing.com, I'll have my assistant send it over, okay? I'm going to put that here. Yeah, just email me. And guys, so I'm just going to do a little plug here, quick like Mara. This was unprompted, okay? But guys, if you do need a list, touch base with me, guys, because I pulled over 3 million records in my list pulling tool. This is what I do. This is my bread and butter. I do consult. I do wholesaling deals myself, but the data is really what drives me. And I've noticed that whenever I'm pulling my list, I get about 30% more homeowners in my data set when I'm pulling it. It's not just a tool I'm using, it's how I'm going about pulling my lists, my zip codes as well. Then PropStream, Propelio, guys, any data set that's using CoreLogic, and most of these companies out here are using CoreLogic as a data set, or Atom Data. Guys, Data Finder, Data Zap, REI Reply, guys, you name it, right? I'm familiar with every single data set out here. It's my lists are by far the best. I've spent a lot of time, really putting these together. All right, guys. So Mara also asked, okay, thank you. Yeah, please email me and I'll send that to you. Okay. All right, guys. So let's go into, I'm going to give you guys an example. So the first market, without further ado, is going to be, it's Philadelphia, right? I like this market a lot, right? Philadelphia is a good market. Why? Right? Why Philly? And I think this goes back to Reginald's question here, is how are you determining what market is oversaturated for that medium? Are you reverse engineering the call per text per contract data? Great question. So I'm looking at a myriad of KPIs in my data sets to determine if it's oversaturated. Okay. So the first thing I'm looking for are, what's the median sale price? That's really the determining factor. What's the median sale price in the last 30 days for that whole MSA? And on my zip code analysis sheet, I'm going to show you guys what this looks like. I think I have this one here. Guys, I love talking about this. This is getting me going. I was about to say, man, I just ate a steak and a salad, and I said, man, I wonder if I want to take a nap. Nah, in all seriousness. Nah, this stuff gets me going. I usually have a slump in the afternoon anyway. But I could talk about data for days. So the first thing I'm looking for is the median sale price for that MSA. Okay, guys. So why is this important? The median sale price, guys, determines how motivated and cooperative your sellers are. Okay, so this is why your market is important. You can be targeting people that bought their houses for less than 100,000, but if the median sale prices are like $1 million, guys, you think those people that bought houses in LA back in 1950 or 1960 or 1970 for underneath 100,000 are going to accept $150,000 for their house? No. And if they are, they probably have dementia, or you're talking to somebody who's in a nursing home and you need to seek medical help if you're going to take advantage of somebody who doesn't really know what their home is worth. Okay, I'm all for making the big bag. Right? I've made $40,000, $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 assignments on properties, but it's another thing is hoping that you're going to take advantage of somebody's ignorance. That's not what we're doing here, guys. Okay. So now that we're on the same page, let's talk about Philadelphia and answer some of these questions that Reginald has here. And this is a great question. So number one, median sale price. Okay. If the median sale price is above, I would say 400, that's a market I'm just not going to go to. Okay. Why? Because if you look at what homes are selling for in the United States on average, they're around like 450 to 480. I've noticed once you get above this $400,000 threshold, most of the market is affluent. It's what we call prosperous, based off of this website called eig.org. And there's very few distressed homes there. So what's a good market I can share with you guys? See, I'm not really analyzing affluent markets. So Okay, yeah, this is a good example. So like Boston, Massachusetts is a great example. Okay, look at Boston, guys. The median sale prices are $795,000, and every every zip code here is prosperous or comfortable. This website called eig.org is where I got this data set from, and whenever you see prosperous, that's like affluent. Comfortable is affluent. And then it goes down to mid tier. That's like in the middle of being turned around and gentrified. And then it's distressed. And then it's at risk and distressed. So we want to see a good balance between the at risk zip codes and the distressed ones. Guys, we are here. We're seeing nothing but we're seeing a lot of prosperous. We see a lot of prosperous, guys. What does that tell me? These areas have already reached their peak and turned around. 10, 20 years ago, maybe not so. Let's see what the median sale prices were in 2021. This is from July 2023. This is from April 2021. I'm just going to do the average of all the medians here. That's what we find. 129, that's still really high. Guys, so if you go to this market, I bet you I can guarantee what the homeowners are going to say when you call them. Well, let me talk to my attorney. Well, I'm in a multiple offer situation. Well, my realtor said this. Well, if you ask them if they have their tenants on month-to-month or annual leases, they're going to be on annual leases. And those people are much more difficult to work with. Those might as well be owner occupants because we have to honor the lease, and that actually limits how many cash buyers we have access to. So why am I going to go to a market where I'm basically swimming upstream and without a paddle? Why am I going to do that, guys? So market selection is huge. Don't believe the hype. Yes, wholesaling could work in every market, but how do you want to make things difficult on yourself? Like that gentleman I spoke with back in 2017, when he said, yeah, we're spending $20,000 a month on direct mail to make $40,000. I said, what? I said, it wouldn't be me. I could hire cold callers for that amount. I could do a radio ads. I could do a little bit of PPC. I could do texting. I could do RVM. I could do voice broadcast. I could do so much with that 20K in that one market, but also in other markets. Guys, don't go down with the sinking ship. There's nothing unique about any of these markets. You should be basically take all the emotion out of it. Well, Cece, I have cash buyers here. You have cash buyers everywhere. Well, this cash buyer said he would buy everything I send him. Okay, you have a property at 50 cents on a dollar. Any cash buyer will buy that. Guys, well, I have realtors here. Guys, it's 2024. You can go on Zillow, you go on Redfin, you could go on Facebook groups, you could find somebody to assist you with either listing your properties online or doing little tasks for you if you need a realtor. I don't really know what you need a realtor for. If you need access to the buyers, just say, hey, I'll pay you a flat fee and then sign paperwork with them. And then they'll pay you. You can pay them a flat fee at closing. Guys, every wholesaler should know how to do virtual wholesaling, because you could end up in a situation, guys, where you're stuck in a market. Like, let's just say I started in Boston. You guys, you can end up failing and then saying this wholesaling thing doesn't work, but it's really the market you're in. And you end up blaming everybody else. Well, it's Cece's fault. Well, it's the cold caller's fault. Well, this dialer sucks. Well, this skip tracing company sucks. Well, this list pulling tool sucks. And you don't even realize it's your market that you're in. And you end up trying so many different methods. Marketing methods are different. You could end up joining different coaching programs or join different Facebook groups or going to these masterminds. And guess what, guys? Nobody's going to sit there and tell you, maybe you should change the market. Why are they going to tell you to go to another market that they're in? Well, what market are you in? And they can say, oh, well, if they're an active wholesaler, they're not going to tell you to go to their market. Guys, I don't have a dog in the fight. Yeah, guys, I actively wholesale, but really this is my bread and butter. This is my career. Since 2018, the consulting life has chosen me. I had a lot of people hit me up with wanting me to get their businesses straight. And it's basically what I do full time. I JV with my consulting partners, right? But I want to see other people succeed. After 300 deals, guys, it gets a little monotonous and boring over here. I'm going to be honest. Making money never gets boring, but going through the process, talking to sellers and just having a team, having the same people I'm talking to every day, all my employees. Guys, I like meeting you guys and seeing where you guys are at and helping you guys get over that hump, because a lot of people, guys, their airplane is like getting off the runway and then it's going down. It's getting a little bit of height, it's going down. It's getting a little bit of height and going down. People come to me, guys, because they're trying to get that thing off the ground. I'm not the one to take you guys to $1 million a year, but I can certainly get you guys out of your 9-to-5 job, right? That I think too many people they have too many bold claims where it's like, spend $0 in marketing and you make $1 million wholesaling. Guys, let's just try to get out of our 9-to-5 jobs, okay? And let's try to get some consistent lead generation going here. You have to find the right market to go into, okay? This is very important. So, Reginald, to answer your question, is the first thing I'm looking for are the median sale prices. Guys, the median sale price of what I mean, if it's $795,000, guys, the more that the homes are worth in that market, the lower the seller's cooperation and motivation. Again, I'll repeat, there's an inverse relationship. The more that homeowners want for their homes and the more that their homes are worth, the lower motivation that they are going to be. And this is ubiquitous in every single market. Guys, if you go to a Memphis, Tennessee, if you go to a Cleveland, Ohio, if you go to Philadelphia, like I'm about to show you guys, these people are going to be reasonable. I don't want motivated sellers. I want cooperative sellers. I don't want somebody motivated chasing me down for when the closing date is. I mean, guys, that's very 2015. I want people that are cooperative and easy to work with. And if I need to get in the house 20 times before closing, they say, yep, that's fine. The door's unlocked for you. Great. Not I'm in a multiple offer situation, or I contract the property and then they say, well, somebody else is right behind you and they say they'll offer me this for the property. Nobody has time for that, guys. And on top of that, guys, it's very difficult to outsource parts of your company if you have very difficult and unique scenarios that you're working with on pretty much every lead, right? It's very difficult to bring an acquisitions person in if you're working in a difficult market. It's just going to seem like you're wasting your time, guys. And you're going to be like, why am I doing this? You're putting forth all this effort. You're comping out properties. You're attending webinars like this. You're really learning. You're taking your time after your work to update your CRM, to practice your scripts, to mock call with yourself and maybe your other team members, all for you to call homeowners and them to just laugh in your face or just completely ignore you. Guys, be smarter about this stuff. Even myself, guys, I'd be smart about this. I have to tell myself, even with me marketing myself, or putting my content out there. My friend, she was like, "Yeah, like you might want to leave." And YouTube's like a hill I like die on, because that's where a majority of my audience and most of my customers have come from over the years. But I have to admit, I posted a video yesterday. It was like an hour-long video. It took me like 6 hours to create, from the content, from putting the content together to stream, to posting it, to editing it on my software ScreenFlow, to get like 30 views in like 2 days. And I post like 4 TikTok videos. Last night I got like 1,000 views on one and then at least 600 on the others. All that I'm saying, guys, I have to take my own advice in other areas too. So I'm not telling you guys anything that's difficult for me. We could tend to look at what has worked for other people and for ourselves in the past and think that's how things are. I really do think we're entering like 2023 and going forward is entering a new phase of real estate wholesaling. Does that mean it doesn't work? No, guys, you just have to adjust. The process is still going to be the same. You're still going to have to show up every day. You're still going to have to know how to comp houses, deal with transaction coordination issues, coordinate between buyers. Guys, I was dealing with a situation just the other day where a tenant wouldn't let my buyers into the property. It was a client I'm working with, and I had to talk to his acquisitions manager on how to handle that. So that's where a lot of our energy and effort is going to go towards. So, wholesaling is still a viable business model. We just have to adjust with the times. Okay. So, Reginald, to answer your question, that's one of the things I'm looking for. Also, I'm also reverse engineering the call per text per contact. I am doing that. But one other thing I'm doing is this, and that is in my list pulling tool. I'm looking at the health of the market. I'll use Philadelphia as an example. So let's use Philadelphia County. When I'm pulling my list, guys, I'll usually pull per zip code, right? So all these highlighted zip codes are the ones that I'll pull. So I know the next month I'm not overlapping data. That's what happens with a lot of people guys, I've seen this happen over and over again where you know a lot of people are re-pulling the same data. They may pull like 20% new records, but just stack those records on their previous list, and they're just dialing a dead list and maybe a few new records, and then they're like, well, why does my cold calling not texting work? You need unique data every single month. That's what I'm getting at. Philadelphia is large enough to be in for 3 or 4 months. So how do I determine the health of the market and if it's oversaturated? Guys, the fewer zip codes I need to get to 10,000 absentee records, the more healthy it is, because that tells me that there are a large percentage of people that fit my avatar. Okay, so I'm going to share with you my investor title toolbox here. See here. Stop sharing. No, these are great questions, guys. So I'm just going to go on my list pulling tool here and log in. Oops, log in. And let me show you guys what I do here. So I typically use the same criteria every single search, and so I'm going to get to 10,000 records here. So let's look at these. Let me actually share my entire screen here. My entire screen. Okay, entire screen. So hopefully this won't mess up. Okay, so I'm going to go back to my set here, and I want to put this in here. All right, I'm just going to get the count. So first loan amount, purchase price, total outstanding loans, purchase date 2010, year built 2010. Let's go. You guys finding value out of this so far? Let me know if I'm going a little bit too quickly over here for you. Okay, guys, so this is a perfect example. So these are, let's see what I'm looking at here. This is absentee, and these people have 10 years of ownership. This is cool. Well, these people have over 10 years of ownership, 13 going on 14 now, actually. This is perfectly fine. So if I need to pull a list of 5,000 records, I can tighten this up and go to 2003. But we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zip codes with decent criteria here. 13 years of ownership, total outstanding loans of 120. If I look at the median sale price, half of the median is 182. So 364 is 182. So guys, if I'm targeting homeowners that bought their houses for $120,000 or less, most, if not all, those people are going to have enough equity where it makes sense for me to contract those properties without having to, without those homeowners being over encumbered. That's why I don't have equity filters. Guys, equity filters are not accurate, and they end up eliminating a lot more properties than need to be. You don't need that filter. There's something about that filter that eliminates properties that shouldn't be eliminated. I think the more accurate filter to use is a purchase price filter. Equity doesn't make your list motivated. Purchase price and total outstanding loans and the first loan amount does. Okay, so that's something really important to remember. Okay, so guys, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zip codes that fit our criteria. So in theory, guys, if I wanted to target to these homeowners, sure, if I export this, I'll probably be down to maybe like 70 or maybe 8,000 once I remove duplicates. But this could get me a month worth of data. Guys, only 5,000 records. I would say 5,000 to 7,000 records make sense for one cold caller to target in a month. So why are you going to pull 20,000 records if you have one cold caller? That doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. So you can end up pulling too much data and going through all that data and blasting through it in a month, and you could waste potentially really good leads that you could have called, texted next week or the week after, right? It makes more sense to spread out your marketing rather than doing a blast up front. I know a lot of people may say, well, CC, I'm going to target the homeowners anyway. In theory, can I just market to all the 30,000 homeowners in one day? Yeah, you could, but guys, there's also a timing factor in all this. If you market to me today and I have a home in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, I may not be in the mood to talk today, but if you were to send me that text next week, then I may be in the mood to talk to you. But if you send me that text this week, I'm not in the mood to talk, and then next week I'm not in the mood to talk, you're basically going to ruin your chances of marketing that data more being and it being more optimized. There's just something with targeting it over time, guys. So why am I saying this? It makes sense to only pull enough data that's necessary. I've seen a lot of people pull too few records, right? If you're pulling 2,000 records, that's not enough. If you're pulling 3,000, that's not enough. You want to be right around 5,000 unique records after you deduplicate it, okay? So I could pull this, guys, and this could get me a contract. If I am calling or if I'm texting myself and if I know what I'm doing, guys, this could get me a contract. This market is very newbie friendly. But guys, realize if you're starting your wholesaling journey, you're going to have to learn through certain bumps and bruises. And this is something I actually just posted on my TikTok. I created this a few weeks back, and I just call this a wholesaling journey, right? Just so when I talk to people, friends, family, new investors that hit me up over Facebook Messenger, I love you guys hitting me up on there, or YouTube or TikTok. I share with them realistically where they're at and what the 6-month journey should look like them, or should look for. Wow, what the 6-month journey should look like for them. Say that 6 times in a row. Okay. So, excuse me. So as a beginner, guys, you're going to have different bumps and bruises along the way, right? You're going to be learning the basics of the industry just in the first 2 months. It took me 8 months to close my first deal. So in the first 2 months, guys, you need to know what ARV stands for, what after repair value, that we even use sellers, because that confused me. I was like, well, why are people referring to people as sellers? I was like, they haven't even talked to these people. Well, we just call a list of homeowners or a lead. We call everybody that has a house a seller, basically. It doesn't mean that they said they want to sell their house to us. So it's learning that specific vernacular. You gotta learn that, right? You have to get familiar with the process and the nuances of how a deal works from start to finish, right? Guys, that's in the first 2 months. You should just be a sponge. Then, guys, you should be starting to market to homeowners, right? You should have a list of homeowners that you're texting or cold calling, guys, and you want to be doing this yourself. Then after that, guys, I will tell you, this happens to every single investor, every single new wholesaler. You get excited about a deal and you think you have something under contract and it slips through your hands like sand. This is the journey. This is what happens, guys. There's no way around this unless you have somebody who's just dragging you along and doing the deals for you, right? But then you don't understand what's happening. And then, like my most previous client, Jason, he came to me because, he has some things set up where, is relatively automated with him closing deals, but he doesn't understand what's going on. So guys, you need to understand the business, and this is done through earning your stripes. There's no way around this. You're not going to be able to hire people to do things for you if you don't know how to do things yourself. If you're not rejected on the phone, if you don't sound silly sometimes, if you don't bite your tongue, if you are embarrassed, guys, if you don't say the wrong thing, if you don't just have those cringy moments when you look back on it, you probably didn't learn. You probably didn't learn what you needed to, and you probably skipped a step. And it's gonna, bite you in your butt when you're going to try to build up a team later on, guys. So it's better to learn this up front and look silly up front rather than doing it in front of team members, or when you're in a mastermind and people are expecting you to know certain things or expect you to present in front of there was this one mastermind that had a wholesaler hot seat. They put you on a hot seat, and and they're going to be like, wait, you don't even know what ARV means and you close 5 deals? Like, what's going on? Stuff like that. And then, guys, really, the 5th month is really focusing on getting your prices right, because a lot of people I found, including myself, our deals fall out of the pipeline because we think we have a motivated seller, but we end up contracting the property for too high, or the seller wants way more than what we can offer, or it's in the middle of nowhere, right? And then at the end of 6 months, guys, really with all the information online, you should be able to close your first deal if you're really, guys, if you're not distracted. The name of the game is not getting distracted these days, okay? Staying focused and not focusing on lease options and novations or anything like that. Wholesaling is a gateway drug. So learn that, and then you will be good going forward. So just wanted to segue there just for a moment. I'm going to go through my just see if I have any comments. Okay, so somebody tagged somebody. So Facebook, yeah, there's a Facebook group for every market, guys. There's a Facebook group for every market. It's a beautiful thing. So that's how you find realtors, and that's how I move a lot of my deals, guys, through Facebook groups. Yeah, I have access to Investor Lift, but Facebook groups are solid, guys. You know, say what you want about Facebook, but it's been good to me. You know, it's like a necessary evil now because everybody's on it. Okay. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and move forward, and let's go ahead and talk about this Philadelphia market, and then just to go back to Reginald's question, because this is really what I'm answering here today is what's considered oversaturated in a market. So if I would go back to my list pulling tool here, guys, if I see that it's taking fewer records with my criteria here, this is my distressed senior landlord criteria, distressed landlord criteria, more than 13 years of ownership, and they bought their houses for underneath 100K. Guys, these people right here, especially if they bought their house for underneath 100K, the likelihood, guys, that they are putting any repairs in their house over time, especially since the time they purchase it, is little to none. Because why do I know that? Because I have a total outstanding loans filter of 120. So even if they refinanced their property or took their equity out of their property, guys, they could have taken, you know, 50,000, 60,000 out of their property. Well, more than likely, if they had a mortgage initially and then they took that amount out, this will be over this $100,000, $20,000 price range. Usually I try to stay around 100,000. And I adjust this based off the market and the median sale price. But more than likely, guys, you're going to be, these people on this list, they have not done any repairs to their homes. That's why I have the total outstanding loan filter. It's basically to eliminate any refinancing potential where people refinance their homes or took equity out in their homes to do repairs. Okay. So, we have individual homeowners and owner occupants, and we have 9,500. That's really good. Guys, let's compare this to owner occupants, and we'll probably have maybe like 50,000 owner occupants. Maybe 40 to 50. Let's see. Okay, 30,000. 30. Okay, I'm sorry, because the absentee were included. So we have 40,000 owner occupants and absentee total. So I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see my calculator here. Okay. Share my so we have 30,000 owner occupants, okay? And if I do 20% of this, we're looking at 6,000. So yeah, the 80-20 rule pretty much applies, because once I remove duplicates, I'll probably be around like 8,000. It's basically 20% of these. No, I'm sorry, guys. 40% times, it was like 10,000. Wait, 40%? I'm sorry. Wait, I need to do 9,000. I need to do 10,000 divided by 40,000. Okay, so 40,000 owner occupants and absentee records, guys, with this criteria. So what I ended up doing, this is 25%. So I ended up taking how many absentee records I had in these zip codes and then dividing that by the total zip codes. What do I get? 25%. So in any healthy market, and this will answer Reginald's question again. Guys, in any healthy market, I will be looking at 25% of the homeowners will be absentee. That's what you're looking for. Guys, let's compare this to, let's just go to Boston. And let's see what the thing here. So let's do Middlesex, because that looks like the main county. Okay. Okay. So Suffolk. All right. Let's go to Suffolk. I'm going to choose 5 zip codes in Suffolk and then see what comes up here. I'll be liberal. I will choose more. Okay. Oh man, so these have zeros in front of them. Give me a second. All right. Okay, I have 5. So I did 5 in Philly, and then I did 5 here. There's probably well, this is owner occupant. I need to change this to absentee. So let me go to absentee. Same criteria, guys, compared to Boston, Philadelphia compared to Boston. 776 homeowners. So if you want to know if your market is good for wholesaling and if it's a healthy market, and I wouldn't even say saturated, even if you're even targeting the right avatar, this tells the whole story. This tells a whole story. So what? I'm going to target these 776 homeowners. This tells me I'd probably, if I target the whole county without doing zip codes, I probably do not even have enough to get 5,000 records. Let's see here. $2,800 records in the whole county, guys. In the whole county. And we only did 5 zip codes in Philadelphia, and we got 9,000 records. So this tells me how much longevity I have in the market. How long am I going to be able to stay there? Guys, even with these people who bought their homes underneath 120,000, the median sale prices in this market in Boston, Massachusetts are 700,000. So even half of that would be $397,000. So if I call these homeowners, I say, hey, can I buy your house for cash? They're going to be like, why are you calling me? Yeah, guys, I may be able to contract something for $300K and then make a $20, $30, $40,000 spread. But these people are more, they're becoming more and more savvy, right? You used to be able to do this in these affluent markets and people will hear you out. Now you have realtors that are almost like hybrid investors where they may find a property that needs repair work. And before 10 years ago, they probably wouldn't even listed that on their site because they didn't want to be seen as a person listing derelict properties on MLS. But if it's a $400,000 house, guys, they make 3% commission on a derelict property that they list on the MLS. Guys, how much are they making on the commission? $12,000. So guys, you're competing against realtors if you're in these markets. That's something important to remember. I like going to the markets where the homeowners bought their homes for underneath 100,000. And I need to sneeze. Give me 1 second. Oh, excuse me. So I like being in a market where the median sale prices are underneath $100,000, you see. But also, median sale prices are below 350, and the homeowners bought their houses for underneath $100,000 because most of the people I target aren't going to be expecting 400K or 700K for their homes. Let's look at Philadelphia. The median sale prices, this was back in July, right? It's probably the same amount now. I'll update this sheet eventually, but $364,000. If they bought their houses for 100,000, what they may be looking for 150, but most of the people I'm targeting, they're still pretty reasonable because the whole market isn't affluent yet. There's something about when the whole market turns completely around, those same people that bought their house for 100, man, they're looking at their house like it's a lottery ticket, right? And we do not want to go after those people, guys. We do not want to go after those people, okay? This is very important to emphasize here, okay? So the first market is Philadelphia. Why? Because the first thing I'm looking at are how many zips it's taking me to get to 10,000 records. If it's only taken me, if it's only taken me 5 zips with this criteria that I rarely change per market, then listen, guys, that is amazing. That's amazing because this tells me I potentially have, if it's taking me 5 zips, I mean, I potentially have, I can have like 4 or 5 months worth of marketing before I go to a different county. And one thing I don't do, guys, is I won't say, well, these zip codes were great. Well, let me just up the purchase price from 120, 121 to like 250. Guys, when you start doing this, you're changing the avatar. And then you may say, well, let me change the, let me target owner occupants now. You're changing the avatar, right, guys? These two filters in conjunction, the owner occupied being absentee and the purchase price, total outstanding loans, and the first loan amount makes the list motivated. That's what makes the homeowners motivated. That's what makes my list motivated. If I didn't have the absentee filter on here, I could do without the absentee filter. But if I didn't have the purchase price filter on here and it wasn't under or around 100,000 or 120,000, my list would have no motivation at all. They wouldn't. That's why I don't have equity, because you could have somebody who has 100% equity and their house could be in an affluent zip code and they could have purchased their house for $500,000. That avatar isn't what we're going after, right? Again, we're going after 20% of the homeowners. Once I go after all those, I'm done with the area. I'm done with the market. I'm going to rotate, right? So guys, the first one is going to be Philadelphia. Why? Median sale prices are below 200K. I'm sorry, below 400K. I like staying around 350. Okay. But this was in summer. I'm pretty sure it decreased since then. If I were to do this for January of last year. Also, there are a lot of distressed housing units, right? Bought before 2010 and for under 120,000 K, 100,000. I usually like doing 100,000, but if it's below, if it's above 350,000, I could go up to 120,000, right? So that's what makes it, guys. That's what makes the list motivated. And these people right here, I feel Philadelphia is a very solid market. It's nice. Now, if the median sale prices, guys, they could be too low. If they were around 182, that would be way too low, because then you would be in a situation where you're targeting homeowners that potentially cash buyers don't want to be in, right? In zip codes, cash buyers don't want to be in, and you could be targeting junk war zones. Okay. So one other thing I'm looking for are the days on market. So if the days on market, guys, is over, say, 50, really getting closer to 60, definitely around 100, and the median sale prices are low, around 200,000, that should tell you something. So if I could buy a house for $200,000, let's just say I have several zip codes that are around $100,000, and the median sale prices the days on market, meaning when I list a home, it's taking 3 months to sell or 4 months to sell. If the days on market is 2 months, that's 60 days. If it's 100 days, that means it's taking 3 months to sell. So if there's a house if there's a zip code where I could buy a house for 200,000, and we know in the United States, basically homes are going for 400,000, why are those homes sitting there? Why are they sitting there? That tells me there's something wrong with that area. It tells me it's distressed and it's potentially a war zone. Okay. We're not talking about the affluent markets, guys. Once you get to, like a Boston, Massachusetts, of course, the days on market are going to be higher for some of these $1 million. Even here, the days on market aren't a lot. But, I can expect if the median sale prices are around $1 million, where the days on market are going to be higher, because it's going to take people longer to finance for, loans and all that type of stuff. And then, they have a larger selection of properties that they're looking at. But for a $200,000, $100,000 house, those should be flying off the shelf. So you want to make sure your days on market for the whole area is below 25. That's what I'm looking for. And I'm looking for around sold or greater. If there's fewer than 50 homes sold on average in the whole market for every single zip code, guys, that tells me that cash buyers aren't there. That's why I don't do all this reverse wholesaling, John. I don't have to go out and try to find cash buyers first, because if I have over 57 homes sold, that tells me that's adequate flipping activity and cash sales activity and retail sales activity. So, you know, a lot of questions could be eliminated if you just do your research up front. And this is what I teach, and this is how I go about marketing in my company. Okay. Let's see if we have any questions over here. Okay. All right. So yeah. Yep. So I'll make a point here just on the am I reverse engineering the calls per text, engineering the call / text per contract data. So I think I understand what you're saying is basically, am I looking at my KPIs for my, so my calls per contract? Yes, I am. But see, here's the thing. What Reginald is saying is, am I looking to see how many calls it's taking me to get a contract to determine if that market's healthy? Yes, but I only know that after I start marketing to it. So I need to be able to go in I need to be able to know before I even go into a market, guys, if it's even worth marketing. I don't want to experiment with my marketing dollars. That's why I do all this. Is so I'm not like putting out a marketing campaign. I'm like, oh man, I hope this works. I hope I get a deal. I hope I get some leads. Guys, no. Second market, guys. I like Cleveland, Ohio. I really like Cleveland, Ohio, guys. This is a market that I've been into on and off. I've taken, some clients work with me for a month, some work with me for 2-3 months, and I never, work with the same client in the same market for over a, I would say I don't work with the same one-on-one clients in the same markets. I try to stagger my clients and take them to different markets. So I've had clients that have been in this market, have left, have gone done their own thing, and I've brought other people on, and this market is just one that's tried and true. I'm like, hey, it's not broke, don't fix it. So Cleveland, Ohio is a solid market. Why? Guys, you're going to see very similar criteria as far as the median sale price, home sold amount, and days on market that you're seeing in Philly. So take note of what you're seeing in Philly. 364K median sale price, 25 days on market, 57 homes sold. Okay. I'm sorry. I need to share my other screen with you. Okay. So in Philly, 364K median sale price, 25 days on market, 57 homes sold. Okay. Let's look at Cleveland here. Okay. So guys, 210 median sale price, 27 days on market, 77 homes sold. Looks very similar. The great thing is this is 210. So guys, 200 to 250, that's really the sweet spot there, because I know you can pick up, you'll probably want to be contracting most homes around 60K, because the ARVs in most of those areas will be around like 150 to 160 in a market where those median sale prices are like this. So guys, that's one thing I'm always looking for. What is the median sale price? So this is even better than Philly, because the sellers are going to be more cooperative. And that's what I've seen. These sellers are basically just like, yeah, take this home. Now, did this market make sense to market to 2 years ago? Absolutely not. Look at what the data was 2 years ago. This was from April 2021. 162 far as a median sale price. So guys, really, we need to be picking up homes for 81,000. I know if that's the case, most of the homeowners I target at that price range, I'd probably have to get the homes under contract for like 20 to maybe 30 grand, and maybe tack on a 5 to 10K assignment fee if I'm lucky. Those margins are really thin when you're here. So when I analyzed this market several years ago, it didn't make sense to go into. Guys, that's why I'm never concerned about doing this wholesaling market rotation method, because there's going to be always going to be a market that's distressed now that doesn't make sense to go into, but 2 years from now it's going to make sense. And then there's going to be a market now like Tampa, Florida, that I was marketing to the last 5 years, and it doesn't make sense to go into now because the median sale prices are too high, right? Tampa, Florida, April 2021, I got pretty much a 4 or 5 good year run out of it. Now, I mean, it's 418,000. These people are not my avatar. I did a campaign there, I think in 2023, last year, early 2023. It bombed. And I consider it bombing when I get a whole bunch of people that are saying, I'm not interested in selling my house, or they say, hey, talk to my realtor. Our property prices are increasing. They're building Topgolf down the road. I'm going to need $1 million. The more people that say I'm going to need $1 million when I'm in my cold calls and my texting, the more and more I know that those people are sarcastic. They're not reasonable. I just need to go somewhere else. Okay. In Cleveland, these people are very reasonable. It's a solid market. I've done some great marketing campaigns there. And it probably has about 3 more good years in it before it becomes like a Tampa. But there's going to be another market that's going to take its place, whether it be in Ohio, most likely in the Midwest. Okay. So that's a good market. Okay. 27 days on market, 77 homes sold. So let's take a few of these zip codes and let's see how much mileage we can get in my list pulling tool just with 5 zip codes. Okay. Let's go to Ohio. Cuyahoga. I don't know if I'm pronouncing this well. So yeah, let's keep the criteria the same. Let me change this back to less than or equal to 250, or I'm sorry, 120. So first loan amount 120K or lower. Total outstanding loans 120K or lower. Purchase price 120K or lower. Purchase date basically 1800 to 2010. Year built to 2010 or less. AVM, so I have a floor of what the homes are worth of $25,000, and then I have a single family residential, duplex, trids, and quadruplex filter on it, and I feel like I'm missing something here. Year built 2010 or prior. Nope. Oh, and lot square footage 21,000 square feet. This is, I think, a quarter of an acre. I always forget. I think this is a half an acre. So guys, every list that I pull, I'm never going to be in a situation where I don't have comparable sales. So I'm going to go ahead and put, because I have this lot square footage here, I'm going to go ahead and put the zips here and see how many come up. So I'm going to put 5. See how many come up. Oops. Okay, great. And we're doing absentee. And guys, usually when I do this too, like if you guys were to touch base with me, if you need a list pool, I'll go and analyze the whole market. So I won't look at the main county. I'd want to go and try to find some other zip codes that are potentially in other counties that nobody else is targeting, right? So, in Cleveland, and clearly everybody's going to be targeting Cuyahoga, but how many people are going to be targeting Ashtabula or Lake County, right? So I'll go through and pull zips there. That's how I get records that nobody else has, on top of just how I'm pulling my list and the criteria I'm using, okay? So let's see how many we got. With 5 counties or 5 zip codes, we got 4,300. That's not bad, right? That's not great. It's not as good as Philly, but that's not bad, right? So that tells me that this market probably has, in terms of saturation, it probably has about maybe like 2 more years left before it's eaten up. So guys, hedge funds are really eating up this our ideal individual. It's really eating up our ideal individual. Okay, guys. So something to keep in mind here is that they're targeting these distressed senior landlords. I call them distressed senior landlords. That's pretty much the people that I target. Whenever I call them, not every single person, but most of the people have multiple houses and they're older. So those are the people that these hedge funds are targeting, guys. Yeah, they may be doing mass marketing and targeting owner occupants, right? If I do owner occupants, you're probably going to get maybe 25,000 people potentially, maybe 20,000. But they're targeting them. But guys, they're most likely buying homes from 17,000. They're mostly buying the homes from actually closing properties on these non-owner occupants. Okay, so again, that begs the question: why am I going to target these 1,000 owner occupants? What? Yeah, I'll be able to generate leads, but these are our ideal avatar. So what happens is a lot of you guys target. And I'm not trying to place blame on you guys, but a lot of investors target these homeowners like that are occupant, but they may not have this filter on at all. So they're grouping in the owner occupants and the absentee homeowners. So guess what happens when they target us? They may say, "Man, that was a really good list to target. Man, we got like 90 leads and we closed like 2 deals out of it," but they're not even looking and engineering and seeing what the avatar of the homeowner was. Oh, well, both of the deals that was, they were out of state homeowners who were 70 years old who just left hospital, who don't live in the property. Okay, yeah, we generated 100 leads, but we're really working 5 hot leads, and all these are absentee homeowners, and their tenants are on month-to-month leases, and they bought their homes for underneath 100K. So again, guys, it's the 80-20 principle here. I'm just really of the opinion, just go to the people that fit my criteria. You're not going to see me targeting niche data from the county either, guys, because that data is not clean, and that data, you can target it, but it's just praying to spray. My method is a little bit more tedious, but I know I'm juicing everything out of the squeeze. I'm getting all the juice out of the squeeze. What do I mean by that? Right? When I this list pulling thing here, and you guys can see, these are the zips I pulled in Ohio and Cleveland. Okay, and I know if I were to go back, I know if I were to pull more records in Cleveland, I would say which ones did I not pull yet. If I did not hide, how would I know which ones I pulled or not? Okay, I may say, okay, well, let me do vacant absentee homeowners. Well, let me pull tax delinquents instead of absentee homeowners or code violations. Guys, my whole thing is all of those homeowners, if I get a list from the county, I'm going to put that list, I'm going to want to put this through my filter, my lens anyway. And so even if I get like 20,000 code violations, I'm going to want to parse that data out if I do have the variables, but I'm going to want to parse that data out so I only see the homeowners that fit my absentee criteria. I don't want owner occupant code violations. I don't want people that spent $500,000 on their house code violations. I don't want people on large acreage. So why am I saying this? Most of those people on those niche lists are going to be on the list I pull anyway. This is for me personally, guys, right? Because I know I'm not missing any data. I'm not missing any data. I know a lot of you guys are, but I know for a fact I'm not missing any data in my data set over here. So again, if I'm going to target a code violation, that code violation is, if it fits my criteria, it's going to be on the list that I pull anyway, right? If it's not, it's not worth targeting. There's something going wrong with it. They bought it. That house was bought in 2015. What am I going to do with that lead? Yeah, I may have 20,000 code violations. I get them from the county in the last 12 months. They give me 20,000 code violations. But half of those were bought in the last 5 years. What motivation is there? Yeah, you could do lease options, all this. Guys, I'm not the lease option guy. I'm the wholesaling guy. And guys, I've worked and I know wholesalers are doing millions of dollars. I wouldn't say millions. I would doing like 7 figures in their wholesaling companies, right? Lower second figures, like close to the $1 to $2 million range, just in pure assignments. And most of the homeowners that they're closing, guys, fit this criteria. So again, vanity metrics, guys. Let's talk about what that means. And then I'm going to wrap this up. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up here. And then I'm going to get to your question, 36T management group. Let's talk about vanity metrics here. A vanity metric is an analytics item that can be measured, but is not a signifier of real return on investment. Examples include the number of followers, likes, or comments. These metrics are best contextualized by more concrete numbers such as click-through rate or visitor to lead conversions. Guys, so in what we're doing in real estate, a vanity metric, the same sort of, not the definition applies, but concept applies is what I'm trying to say, is that these are basically junk metrics. So if you're generating 100 leads that are code violations, tax delinquents, but they bought their houses 5 years ago, or they live on lakes and they got a code violation because are gated communities and they got a code violation because their white picket fence is off white, or they had trash in their yard. They didn't pick their trash can up for a week and they got a code violation. Is that a signifier that a person's going to sell their house? Guys, that's the thing. Like, we need to think here. There's different levels of code violations. Not everyone is going to be, tall grass. So really, if you look at the 80-20 principle, about 20% of those code violations will make up 80% of your deals. And most likely, guess what those homeowners are going to be? Guess what their criteria is going to be when you reverse engineer it? It's going to be this. It's going to be somebody who bought their house for underneath $100,000. They were an individual owner, right? Not a company, and they have no more than 100K total outstanding loans, or whatever is proportionate in the market, right? If the median sale price are $600K, right? They may have no more than $300,000 in total outstanding loans, like 50%. And they're sitting on a lot that's smaller than a half an acre. Guys, so the thing is what I think's happening is that a lot of you all, and I'm not saying this to anybody watching us live or after to point fingers. I don't do that, but I'm using that term just subjectively. Going with me here. A lot of you all want to target homeowners. A lot of you guys think you're getting something special from these lists. In actuality, the lists you're getting from the county are just filling in the gaps from what your list pulling tools aren't getting from you. I'll say that again. What you're getting from the county are records that will most likely have been on your list, but your list pulling tool, quite frankly, sucks. And whoever you're using to pull your list sucks. And as a result, you think you're getting something special, but you're really just getting the additional data that your list pulling tool is missing. That's what I'm trying to say here. Okay. So guys, this is important. So let me go here and look at the comments here. Thank you guys for staying on with me. So 36T management group. Thank you for your comment. He said, that's us and I'm in Cuyahoga. Yeah, exactly. So to further elaborate, the gentleman said we kept owner occupied in the filter and shouldn't have. And guys, if you're doing that, what I would encourage you to do, test my hypothesis. Don't take my word for it. Test my hypothesis, but you need to be able to track your metrics separately, right? So track your KPIs based off of how many zip codes. Track your metrics based off of how many leads you're generating with your owner occupant list versus your absentee list, and then put the list in your dialer separately, right? Don't combine them together. Dial one day and then dial one the other. And then if you text, do 2 separate texting campaigns. Don't combine them together. And you should do this for any list that you're split testing. If you have an inherited list with a code violations list, with a tax delinquent list, you want to track those metrics separately. Yes, you can have on your KPI sheet how many text leads you got today or how many cold call leads you got, but you should be separating out where they come from and the marketing channel. If you are doing direct mail with direct mail code violations, you should track that separately. Then code violations, cold calling. It may seem tedious, but guys, we do this in order to know where we need to spend our marketing dollars. This is why I've gotten so niche down with what I'm doing here, is because I've just basically have had these mini duels between my marketing channels. And just over the years, I've compared this one to this one to this. Direct mail, and I started macro. Direct mail versus cold calling. Direct mail versus texting. Texting versus cold calling. Cold calling versus RVM. RVM versus cold calling. RVM versus texting, right? And then I narrowed it down once I started seeing patterns over several months with hundreds of thousands of marketing like messages going out, right? Tens of thousands of dollars of marketing being spent with my own marketing dollars and my clients, because I was able to see their KPIs too across the country. And then split testing, Midwest versus West Coast. Okay. Southern markets versus Midwest markets. That's why I'm at the point now where Midwest markets, I like Midwest markets more so than Southern markets. And now I'm at the point where it's like, okay, if I'm here, is it cold calling versus texting? Is it direct mail versus texting? Is it RVM versus texting? Okay. Okay, so can I spend, how few of marketing dollars can I spend to get my marketing message out to the most homeowners? That's what I'm trying to do. And I'm continuing to fine tune this process, but I fine tuned it so much, it's almost like there's nothing really to fine tune. I'm not making 10 to 20% leaps like I was every year or every month back in 2018. It's just, now it's more like just 1% incremental changes. Okay. All right. Alfred Elliott said, can you use distressed zip codes for multifamily? Now, we might have different definitions of multifamily. If you're talking about apartment complexes, then yes and no, but apartment complexes over 5 units, you're going to be limiting yourself if you go by zip code. That's statewide. I actually pulled all of I think it was like 5 to 200 units for a client of mine several years ago in 2021. And there were actually 2,000 multifamilies, like apartment complexes. So, and those were like in 20 states, guys. I think I might have did it nationwide, actually. No, because there would have been more, but the criteria was pretty broad. So with that being said, is that if you're doing it with multifamily, like 5+ units, this might not work, because if you do this, you might only have one apartment complex. But yes, if you're talking about duplex, quads, and single family, or duplex, quads, and tris, absolutely, because those are considered single family. And guys, your cash buyers love those. Your cash buyers love the heck out of those, because if you get a property under contract and it's a duplex, most likely your homeowner is going to be basing all their price off of what other single family homes have sold and the tax assessor statement. The tax assessor statement, if they get that, guys, that's going to basically be, that's going to assess the home as if it's a single family home. So it's really to your benefit to target duplexes, triplexes, and quadruplexes. You're going to get mainly duplexes when you do this filter. But yes, I would do the same exercise if you're doing duplex, tris, and quadruplexes. But if you're doing anything over 5 units, this criteria may be a little bit too limiting, and that's out of my wheelhouse. Okay, that's out of my wheelhouse. Guys, any other questions here? I'll probably stop there, and I'll probably go live tomorrow, and I'll go over 2 other markets. I end up going on tangents, so I hope you guys don't mind the little tangents that I go on. I just feel like there's a lot to cover. It's not just a black and white sort of scenario, guys. And if you want a list before we wrap up, you go ahead and go to my website. Like Mara said, Kamara, he mentioned that the list I pulled for him is doing really well. Okay. So guys, you got to get on that. Let me help you guys out before you try to do this yourself and waste your money and waste your time. So when I pulled that list for him, he got several sellers under contract. And guys, any client that works with me, you pretty much have access to get in touch with me over email or messenger. I'm not going to ignore you. I'm going to give you a little bit more support. So after this call, I'm going to hook Mara up with the purchase and sales contract. Also, too, guys, just before I wrap up here, if you guys want to work with me one-on-one, I am taking on about right now 10 clients. And because I have 5 like higher ticket clients, long-term clients I'm working with, but I have just enough time for 10 more. And so as soon as those 10 spots are filled up, I'm done because that's going to be 6 hours per person over 30 days. So if you need on-demand one-on-one consultation, like if you need me to look into your CRM, you need to ask questions about how to comp houses, how to comp properties. If you need to ask me, if you just need to vent, guys, 1 hour calls, let's get to it. You could just ask me those like I'm an attorney on retainer, right? It's like I'm an attorney. Look at me like I'm an attorney, right? If you need help just knowing how to get started in real estate, I can do this for you as well. If you need help, like I said, comping out properties or even jumping on interviews, I can interview your employees for you as well. And I can do team training. So however you want to spend those 6 hours, you can do that. And that's over 30 days. Of course, if you're not able to get them all done in 30 days, they can go over. But really what we're looking at is 2 calls in the first week, 2 calls in the second week, and then 1 call in the last 2 weeks. Guys, it really only takes 30 days for people to get squared away with, right? That's really all I need with you to get you on the right path. You go off, you execute, and then you come back in a month later or in a quarter later. Okay. So that I'm always here for that. Those spots are going to fill up pretty quickly. And you could be new, guys, but just know that, you need to know what you're doing. I'm not going to promise you that you're going to get deals. This is mainly for people that already know what they're doing, and they need to be able to say, hey, get CC on the phone. I need this question answered. Because, guys, what's happening is a lot of people are getting left behind in coaching programs, and a lot of people are getting left behind in these high-ticket programs or, creative financing programs. It's a shame. People don't even know how to comp out properties. So if you want to get over there and you don't know how to, get a cash offer, we can spend all the calls just doing that, right? I'm going to teach you my method with that. If you want me to go in depth with the marketing, with how to analyze a market and teach you that step by step, we can spend all the time doing that as well. So, guys, let's get it. I'll probably jump on tomorrow. If you need any help, just let me know. You can always shoot me a DM in my messenger, and then you can join the Facebook group too, guys. buildtoscale.wholesaling.com. I'll show you guys what that looks like. I love you guys that stayed on the whole time. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Spending your Friday afternoon with me, man. But yeah, you could go to Build a Scale Wholesaling. And so there's certain things that I do post on my profile, but I post more of like in-depth stuff here in the group, right? Like this is something I didn't post on my profile. Just more of like insights that I get just spur of the moment. And maybe like at midnight. This is at 12:42. I post stuff at midnight. Also, you guys can hit me up on the group chat. So the group chat is specifically no pitching, no anything. It's called the Wholesalers Lounge. So you guys can go there, and a lot of investors collaborate over there. So yeah, I don't even pitch my services on there or anything. Just just want to keep it an area where people can share deals. They can collaborate with each other. They can meet with each other. And they can just feel like they have somewhere to really get answers to their questions if they need them. So that's actually probably the biggest benefit of being in the group. So if you see that the main channel is a little bit dry, it's because most of the action is happening in the chat area. And guys, there's like no spam in here, and I'm on top of it if there's any spam. It's like a lot of authentic interactions going on there. All right, guys. So that'll wrap it up. I'll probably go live tomorrow, Saturday. If you guys need me before then, feel free to reach out. Like I said, if you need a list pull, you go ahead and go there. That should be my main page, Build a Scale, realestate.com/distress list, I think. And one other note, my assistant just told me, she just told me to mention this. Guys, I am only pulling one market, like one set of zip codes per market every single month. So if somebody comes through and they want Cleveland today, I'm only going to pull those of zip codes for them. And once all those are eaten up, I'll message you and say, hey, that's taken care of. That we can't do that anymore. But this is my first time offering this to the public because I was doing list pulling for my clients behind the closed door. So, don't worry about that now. And I'll always put updates here. But if you do have a question, if you're like, hey, is Cleveland available? Is Philadelphia available? Let me know. So that doesn't mean I'm only pulling one list per market. I have this here, but really what I'm doing is only pulling one set of zip codes per individual per market. It's exclusivity, guys. That's the whole thing. It's not about what list pulling tool is the best. It's like what's exclusive, right? That's my whole thing. I know that not a lot of people are using what I'm using. So I know, and on top of that, people don't have access to my data set. So guess what? When I target homeowners, guys, they're not saying, oh, well, I'm in competition with this person, that person, that person. You're going to have other people. You're going to have a lot of people that say, hey, I have multiple offers. But really, when I'm doing my marketing, guys, my qualified leads, I'm not getting a lot of people that say I'm in a bidding war with somebody else, or I have to submit an offer because they have another investor coming. That happens a little bit, but it's not happening nearly as much with my list as it does when you pull from PropStream and ListSource and these other tools. It's not about what's cheap, guys, because it's not, I'm not cheap. I'm not super expensive, but you got to pay to play here, guys. And so with my marketing analysis, you get access to that. With my list pulling and with my skip tracing, that in conjunction, it's game over, guys. It's game over. And you don't need 100,000 records to close one deal. So you can get one deal out of a 5,000, 10,000 record list. So, all right, guys. Hope that helps. Hope I point you guys in the right direction. I will chat with you guys later. Have a great day.